Welcome to yet another episode of Saul FRAZER's BizzChat. I'm your host, as usual, and today we have Rose F. Coker. Now, this show is basically to help inspire young and dynamic entrepreneurs, hoping to help them overcome the challenges that they're having in their business journeys, and hopefully also inspire those who haven't started yet. There are a lot of people having great ideas out there, but just don't find the courage to go ahead and put it into action. So, Rose,
Yes.
can you tell me a bit about yourself and what is it that you do?
Yes. Thank you. My name is Rose F. Coker. I'm a Gambian and an entrepreneur, seasoned one.
Nice.
And I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years, and I'm the founder of the RozAfriq brand.
Okay. What does RozAfriq brand do?
So RozAfriq is an authentic Gambian brand, and we have other subsidiaries under it.
Okay.
And so the RozAfriq is a fashion brand. That's how we started, from using waste fashion, recycling it, to adding new life to worn-out products.
Right.
So, and the Quick Cook is a meal prep solution brand where we process leafy greens and vegetables and spice, turning them into ready-to-cook ingredients.
Wow.
And the Quick Chop, which is the reigning one currently,
Right.
it's a snack meal that's only available on Saturdays.
Okay.
It's a healthy snack that's only beans related.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with this idea of the recycling and also coming into this thing?
Okay, so for the recycling bit, the RozAfriq, my inspiration came from working with waste material. But before that, I'm very inquisitive. I'm a very inquisitive person. So I always love to find out. I've always loved to research. So I've been checking online, and I always like to position myself with other West African countries, East African and Southern Africa,
Great.
to see what they're doing. So when I had the inspiration of working with the wax print, I looked at what Cameroon, Nigeria, and other countries were doing.
Right.
I think the first video I came across was a guy with disability. Is that what we call it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I saw him, working with tires, flower vase, using old shirts. It's like, this guy is, having a disability and he's able to do this. I can do it. So out of nowhere, I started. So I first looked at my worn-out bangles. The colors have changed, and of course, my shoes, my favorite Toms. I still have it, by the way.
Nice.
So I covered that up, and people asked me, "Where did you get it?" But then I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing, so I wouldn't say I did it. I said I got it from somewhere. Oh, can you please refer me? Like, wow, it's becoming real.
Nice.
But I remember I got encouraged by my MD to go do my former MD, to go do the Protect training.
Right.
I think that is when everything opened for me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So the recycling business, or sort of using unwanted materials, must be profitable, isn't it? Because then you don't have to spend a lot of money buying it.
Yeah.
Or how was it for you?
Yeah, definitely true. Because like I said, when I was quitting my full-time job, I left with $500 in my account.
Brave.
And
Very brave.
very. So I think I used that to get glue and to get a table. I still have that table up to date. So I got this table from a carpenter, and I just got few stuff, and then the rest, obviously, I could get the waste material from the tailoring shops. It was profitable.
Indeed.
Was.
Well, that's very brave of you, because usually people would juggle the two, continue your employment until you're able to save maybe for 3 months or 6 months salary before quitting and then doing your side hustle full time. But I guess you must have believed in yourself so much to leave with just $500.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely true.
Indeed. So at what point did you feel that you could make this a business rather than just a hobby?
So after the Protect training, because we were being trained to run a business right there and there for 7 days. And so I've always been someone with an open mind. So I just go through things open-mindedly.
Right.
And then decipher things on my own.
Okay.
So doing it, like, for me, it was really exciting because we were tasked, everybody must start a business. and the one with the most sales get a prize. I always want to win. So everybody had to create a business, a unique one. So I decided food. I was like, since everybody's coming here and we should be there, I think for 7:38. So I decided I would make meat pies, olele, and I think sausage roll. And it was hot.
Right.
So what I did was I'll start from traffic light, go to my former office, sell there, go to the bank. So by the time I get to the training ground, I'm almost sold out.
Wow.
So doing that, that excitement, you're making money. I was like, yeah, is that the deal? Why not?
Nice. So the trigger for you was the training that you got.
Yes.
Would you recommend that to other people that are a little bit not fully decided whether they're going to do it or not, or how impactful? I mean, it's already impactful considering that you're sitting here today, but can you just give us a little bit more details about the training and how it went about?
So it depends. Like I said, for me, when I was going, I went with an open mind.
Right.
I knew I was going for a training and I knew I wanted to be my own boss.
Good.
From a very early age, I knew I wanted to be my own boss. So I went into it ready. So it depends as well. Are you ready for business?
Right.
Are you ready to take up risk? So that is how I went into the training. So it was a very intense training. And then I figured it's also been trained in other countries and also in India. So there is this particular part of the training is called PECs. Excuse me, I'm not sure if I'm right, but I think it's called PEC or it's called stamping. So what it does, so they give you different entrepreneurs' behavior.
Right.
So on your daily day-to-day movement, so you're going to see, Pearly, you've done a task today. Like for instance, me coming here today. So the task was coming for a podcast. So what did I do to get here?
Right.
I got ready. I had my breakfast. I made sure I prepared my sales for my customers. So that's a certain entrepreneurial behavior. So you have to note it down and you have to stamp it down. But I figured in India, they're still doing it. And for some reason, I still feel I'm lagging behind because I'm not doing that. And that is a behavior I really, really want to keep practicing. I stopped it for some time, but I really want to pick it up again. And I really also encourage young people who want to go into business. You don't even need to be young. So I saw the guy who started KFC started at 65, right? That is also an inspiration for me because sometimes I'm like, I need to be a millionaire by 35. So when I look at my age, I'm like, I'm still dragging. Yeah, so I would really recommend that for other entrepreneurs, definitely.
Certainly. We'll share the link for people that are interested in the bio going forward. So you went to the training, you got inspired, and it was ready. Well, you're ready to start. What were the major challenges that you encountered in the beginning of setting up?
Okay, so it's easier to answer it now,
right? Exactly.
than when I was there. So because now I'm trying to figure, why didn't they tell me this? Why didn't they show me this?
Right.
So one of the things that I didn't understand, it's a bit complicated in my head now because now I've figured it out. So one of the things was I didn't understand what a brand name was then.
Right.
And then one thing I also always was hearing was you need to get your systems and something in place. It was just jargons. It was just terms.
Right.
I just hate those words then. Get your systems and operations in place. Yes. So it wasn't making sense then. I didn't understand what that was. So I think understanding the depth part of business as a whole was what was a challenge for me then.
Okay.
Because what I had was just the ideas, how to make the bangles, how to make sure the thread is not showing the quality part of it. But now, how do I put it into a real business where I can get my pricing right? I can, push the brand out there. How do I work on my marketing strategy? Who are my target audience? Then I thought I was selling to the whole Gambia.
Right.
Everybody's my customer. I didn't understand all of those things by then. And it was easier then as well because everything I was doing with my hand. I was into technology a bit, but not to a large scale.
Right.
Because I didn't even understand what scaling up was at that time. I just hear the word. Sometimes, I use this word and I don't even know what they mean. I was like, you see these people, they just pushing jargons to me. I also use it. I don't even know what it means. So,
Right.
So there's so many things that I found really hard. But again, like I said, I'm an open mind. So things like this, when I don't know, I just note it down.
Yeah.
So along the lines, as I'm growing, I hear it again and it's making sense. I'm like, oh, right.
Right.
So this is what systems, why can't they just make it simple?
I think we all go through that. I also have a story to tell in terms of realizing that not everyone is your customer. When I started my real estate agency, I'll sit in my office and then someone would call me all the way from Birkama. And silly me, I will just leave everything I was doing because the person say I'm interested in buying. I'll leave my office and drive all the way to Birkama. Only to realize that, yes, the desire to buy was there, but the willingness and the ability to do wasn't there. So, but along the way, you learn quite a lot, and to be able to select out who you're really targeting and be able to ask specific questions, exactly who's ready to buy and who's not ready to buy and things like that. But these are the things that unless and until you start, you won't be able to find out, So taking action is very, very important. That's why we're here today sitting and talking to you. Please tell us a bit about Quick Cook.
Okay.
What is it about?
So Quick Cook is a meal prep solution brand. Again, before starting it, I didn't know it was going to be a meal prep solution brand. So Quick Cook started off when I started buying oysters off my mom during COVID and reselling it. So the desire for oysters is quite alarming in the Gambia.
Tell me about it. See, I'm a frequent visitor to Banjul.
Really?
And whenever I leave Banjul, I have to buy.
You have to buy.
And I buy from a lot of these different vendors out there. And I love oyster quite a lot. Why?
Yes. Now I'm asking the question.
It's just, it's lovely.
It's lovely.
It's a lovely meal. And honestly, I enjoy eating it. I wouldn't mind eating it twice or 3 times a week. So I'm a frequent buyer. Yeah.
Okay. So again, I started buying the oysters off my mom because she then started harvesting oysters. So I figured how tedious it was for them to, because they leave at early as 5 a.m. and they use canoes, not machine boats. And they'll do that for 2 hours to get to their destination or so. So by the time they get there, because they work according to the tide.
Oh.
Yeah, those women are just great women. So they work according to the tide. So after harvesting, they have to follow the tide back to their destination, go through the process. So currently, there are only boiled oysters available in the Gambia, even though the roasted ones are quite the best. But you don't see it now.
Okay.
The hospital, you barely see it now.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
So that's what I started to do from 2019, 2020. And like I said, I love to shop. I love to inquire. So I was walking around Serekunda Market and Tipa Garage on 2 different occasions. So I saw the woman throw away leafy greens, kereng, bisab. It was a whole lot. Wow. So I went to, I was like, why are you guys throwing this? So again, I understood they don't have the right skills to later process it and stuff. And they don't have the storage facilities as well to store it for another day. So then I went back home. And because I grew up in a Creole setting, in most Creole homes, when products are in season, we'll buy a lot processed and then put it in the freezer and just ignore and continue cooking until it's off season. Then we can still cook our delicacies.
Smart people.
Right? So that was the type of home training I got. So when I saw that, I said to my mother-in-law, Mom, I can commercialize this because kid kneeling could underfed doing this. Like, Rose, I was like, hararek. So I started off with buying 4 leafy greens. So I did that. I froze it in my freezer for at least 3 months. And I sent it to Senegal. So I have some in-laws there as well. So I think they froze it for a month and then they cooked it. So that period, I didn't even know it was called product testing. So I just knew that, okay, I just want to see how it would go, right? I was like, so when I figured out the names, I was like, so I've been doing product testing because, they've been telling me you need to, come on. Well, anyway. So I did that. And then when they cooked it, it was the same taste. I was like, Mommy, I'm not definitely go But it was the fun. I said, okay, I went back to YouTube. I checked Cameroon. I checked Nigeria. I was like, mommy, they're already on it. Price. Mommy, so I started off with the 4 leafy greens and the oysters. But again, for me, it wasn't making sense because I didn't even have a name for the business and I didn't even have a value proposition then. I think I even spoke to Loka and few of my friends. I have this circle that I'll always put in a group. I'm trying to do this. What do you think I should name it? So that's what I did with that. But everybody was giving me something confusing. But I was so connected to what I was doing that when I started putting the dots together, I was like, at the end of the day, I am. I was like, quick cook.
That's how the name came about.
Yeah, that's how the name came about.
Interesting.
So, and then I said to myself, so, okay, if this is quick cook, so buying just the leaves and then going back to the market, it's not making sense. So I need to get other complementary ingredients for you not to go to the market, but again, they are ready to cook. And that's the difference with going to the market. So I started looking at different dishes. I said, super, what goes into super? So I had the kereng already. So I was like, I need okra, I need catfish, I need smoked bonga. So I started listing out the different ingredients that goes into different meals. Makes sense. That's how I started adding up the ingredients slowly, until now we have at least 28 different assorted ingredients and counting.
Amazing. Yeah. This is wonderful. So are you mainly operating from home, or do you have an office or a shop, or where do you operate from?
So I currently operate from home. I have a little shop at home where I'm operating, and that's where I've been operating since 2021. Yeah, that is where I do the operation and the sales.
And the customers, do they come to you, or do you also find them online, or how do customers find you?
So we have walk-in clients, and we also distribute to local supermarkets. So they also reach to the local supermarkets, and we also have delivery services available.
Amazing.
So that's how we reach them.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So this Mandela Fellowship program, I keep hearing about it, but I have no clue what is it about or how to get in. So maybe can you throw a light on what is it about?
Okay. So Mandela Washington Fellowship is a flagship program started by Obama, former president. So I think it started in 2014. So personally myself, I have heard about it, but I had no clue then. So in 2016, when I started the RozAfriq, I just saw people applying. I them America Mandela. I was like, what have we done? America? So I applied for it 2016, but I knew I wasn't ready. So I applied, I didn't get through. It didn't really bother me. But what I did was I had goals. So I said to myself, since I'm not ready, I'm not forcing myself. But one thing I promised myself was to be consistent with the program, check what is happening. So year in, year out, I'll check out people that have gone from the Gambia, follow what they were doing before they went, what they're doing after the program. So that's how I kept following, footsteps, different footprints, trying to study what's happening. So I think I was ready to apply by 2019, then COVID hit. So I said to myself, nope, I want to go. I'm not doing it virtually. So then I started Quick Cook in 2021. So I said, okay, let me give Quick Cook at least a year so I can have a profile. So I patiently waited for the year. But what I said to myself was like 2023 is a must. That was the goal. So when the applications were open, because I have already been through it and I always go through it year in, year out. So I always realized the questions are not really, really, really different. You just have to think through it because they're questions in question. That's how they do it. It's very tricky. So I was really ready for it. So I wrote the application and then I sent it around to my different mentors to vet. So when it got back, I was really confident for it, honestly.
Wow.
So I submitted. I got it.
You prepared for it?
Yes,
It didn't just happen overnight.
No.
You did your research, you prepared, and then you also seek assistance, which is amazing.
Yes.
But what are the usual criteria for maybe someone who's interested in taking part? What are the main, maybe 2 or 3 main criteria that you think is a must-have to qualify? Okay.
So for must, you must have characters of a leader. You must have, because it's either you're applying for the leadership in business track, leadership in civic engagement, or public management. These are the 3 tracks that are available. So I was in for the business track.
The business track.
Yes.
Are there any financial requirements, let's say, to prepare finances for your business and things like that? Because most entrepreneurs in the Gambia, most startups usually just treat the business as their own. Any money that comes into the business, you put it into your pocket or you give to your sisters, brothers, and uncles and things like that, rather than creating a business account and be an employee of that business that pays you salary on a daily basis. So with that discipline, it helps you structure a business in a very positive manner. But I wouldn't blame you if you did it the other way around. I think we all did in the beginning until we tried to figure out, how to run our business really proper.
Yeah.
But do you have to submit any financials to this application or not?
Yeah. So everything is totally free.
Okay.
All you need is your application.
Okay.
And you need to know your application in and out. You need to be truthful.
Right.
Because everybody can find anybody. Anybody can research about anybody. So there are no financial implication
requirements,
or anything, nothing of that sort.
But do you prepare finances for a business? Do you do annual, not maybe audits, but annual reports to know how much sales you made in a particular year compared to the year before?
So I'm glad you brought this up because I've never done that with the RozAfriq. Okay. So with Quick Cook, because I'm really structuring, I am at that stage where I am trying to structure the business because now I 90% understand what I'm doing. Good. So I just did this last week. Because I had to pay my tax returns. I'm very tax compliant. So I had, because I had to pay tax, so I brought both reports for 2021, 2022, and 2022, 2023. And then I looked at the figures. I was like, wow, what happened? Because I figured in 2021, 2022, I made more sales. So now in 2023, I had less sales in some months. So I was really happy I could see that and I could, speak to the figures. I could tell in some way what went wrong here, especially the period where I got selected for the Mandela and I was preparing to leave. Overexcitement, I forgot I had a business. Yes, I spent so much time preparing that I wasn't too concentrating. And I think I took a leave because my husband also was in town. So I said to him, you see what happened when you came? There were no sales. So I do that now in my businesses.
It's an actual joy.
It is.
To hear you talk about this because, the problem most people have when it comes to their sales reports or their financials or their yearly report is they think that they might be punished for it or it's not necessary or they don't have to do it. But trust me, it is vital for you running the business than for anyone else because it gives you a snapshot of what you've done throughout the year.
Sure.
You get to review, like you said, the sales, what product is doing well, what product isn't, which month do I have to focus on advertising, which month don't I have to. But in the absence of getting these reports in place, you're just going to be running your business blindly without knowing exactly what you're doing. And this can lead to businesses failing. So it's very important that you keep your records. Some are even crazy and they do it on a weekly basis. Others will do it monthly, quarterly, right? But your yearly financials is important because that's your test results or your exam results. Knowing that, okay, you've worked from January to December. Now what? But if you don't look into those figures to know where you're doing well and where you're doing wrong, the next year is going to continue the same thing and you don't even know where you're going. And it is said that if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there, So keep that up, to be honest. Keep doing it because it's totally amazing. So what do you need now? Or where do you see this business, let's say, in the next 2 to 5 years? Is there anything that you feel that someone coming in or collaborating with you can get you there? What is the vision for the next 3 to 5 years?
So for the next 2 to 5 years is really to scale up because, like I said, now I've found so much passion in what I'm doing that I'm so ready to play around the different ingredients because in Gambia, I figured we're so strict with the way we eat.
Right.
Kereng kereng pur suparekla, and that's it.
You're right.
So we're not too innovative or creative with playing around different things. So like I said, I'm always looking at what other countries are doing and with the same raw materials, right? And I'm really excited for what I can do.
Wonderful.
And so the goal is to have a product line sort of where we'll have machineries and equipments in place because currently all the products I'm doing, it's very labor intense. I'm doing it manually.
Looking to automate the process.
Automate the production. And for me, it's not about just the business, but the impact it will have in the different communities. Because if all the major products I am getting from the Gambia, let's say kereng kereng. So let's say I have this woman in Baka who has a nako. She just does one bed of kereng kereng. And now I am selling to 5,000 homes in the Gambia. Wow. At least every week they buy 5 kilo kereng kereng. She can't do it alone. True. Right? Then you get other women that will be my staple suppliers for kereng kereng. And like I said, I have 21 different ingredients. Wow. So the bisap, the kanja, the kani, the bell pepper, the spring onions. I need different people to be doing it to meet my demand if I get there. But how do I do that as well? So I'm at that phase, but it's also tempting me to go into farming, but I really don't want to at this point. I'd want to partner with cooperatives. Then we have some legal agreements. Then I can be assured that my raw materials will get to the processing facility. But currently, I really want to automate and scale up.
Farming is very capital intensive and people don't tend to realize that until they get into it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also very lucrative because you can have 3 field crops. On the 4th one, you're able to recoup all the losses that you had over the last 3 years. So I don't blame you for thinking about it, but perhaps maybe later on as the business progresses to that level. Now, with the automation that you just talked about now, what sort of figure, if an investor is listening or somebody is keen to come on board, how much would you be willing to raise or looking to raise to get you to the level that you want to be?
So currently I'm looking at least 3 million.
3 million?
Yes.
Okay.
From the rough calculation that I have done
right.
with the different equipment that I'll need.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to have a lab in place.
Okay.
To test all this because there's nowhere we're testing all these products in the Gambia.
That's right.
Yes.
Have you done both ways where you look at how much you need, but then the other way around, okay, if I have this 3 million now, how quickly can I pay back to the investor or somebody who's looking to come on board? How long do you think it will take you to generate that kind of money to be able to pay back?
To pay back. So I'm looking at least 4 years back.
4 years. Okay.
Yes, because like I said, when I looked at my figures for the last 2 years, honestly, I was like, where is all this money? I was like, really? So I made all these sales. So I'm like, okay, if I can do this manually and I'm generating this, and guess what will happen if I automate and then I have the capacity to also push it to the market.
Right.
Will definitely generate because these are ingredients we're eating in our homes almost every week once. You must. It's a must. You're mahal. You
Certainly.
must.
Certainly.
Exactly.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, the issue of taking action to start a business, not many people have that, what can I say, have that ability to do. Today, if you were to advise the viewers, the listeners, of the crucial elements of taking that first action, what is it that you would say to them?
Okay, now I'm trying to think. You have to be really ready for business.
Okay.
And you really have to be. I used to hear this, I didn't believe in it. You have to be ready for failure. I used to hear it, but I didn't believe it. But at some point, I really believed in it. And those are the things. You have to be strong emotionally, physically, because that's what I learned from an entrepreneur in Nigeria. He says most African big entrepreneurs don't always show the sad bit of the business, the downs, when the days we don't even want to go to work. those moments we don't share. We only share the awards,
Yeah.
the big machines that have been installed. So that spoke to me. And for the past 6 months, I've been battling that because I'm also trying to work on the content I put out, in as much as people really love to see me in the field processing, but I also want to show them that I'm human and I get with those moments as well.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Amazing. I saw you brought some products with you. Would you like to go through some of them and tell us what they're good for and what we should use for? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So this is bay leaves. It's locally called Loria.
Okay.
Yes. So in the Gambia here, we only, from what I know, we only use it when we're cooking benachin or
Hey, Domi Akulari.
Yes. But additionally, from what I've researched, you can also, that is if you're spiritual.
Okay.
Now I'm working on my spiritual life as well. So you can burn one bay leaf in your office, in your home, anywhere. And you can also have one bay leaf in your tea.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what a lot of people didn't know about. I myself didn't know until when I started working with them.
Okay.
And these are egusi seed.
I've heard of. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have a supplier from Nigeria who supplies them to me.
Okay.
So in Nigeria and in the Gambia, it's used to cook egusi soup.
Yes.
Plus has like. But when I checked online as well, you could have it in a snack form, sort of season it and then have it in a baking and bake it in the oven. And then it's snacky like. You can have it as a snack. See?
Nice, nice.
And this is dried smoked bunga powder, kecha.
Okay.
You have the benachin kecha.
Right,
so this is the kecha powder. So manam ko bobo laka bunwer and then sungufpe.
And what do you use it for?
So you can also spice up your meal with it. When you're cooking the benachin kecha, you can also put it on as a spice.
Can you use it in the ebe as a replacement of the bongo fish?
That's a good idea. I would try it and see. And then ebe Saul FRAZER.
See?
Just saying. And this is the bay leaf powder. So the same as the other. So you can also use it in your tea as it is.
Okay.
Or use it for seasoning and use it to spice up your meal. And this is something I'm playing around, is dried oyster powder.
Okay.
Yes. So you can also use it to season when you're cooking your oyster sauce or when you're cooking your is it la paella, they call it, where that has the seafood stuff.
The Spanish dish.
Yes. Yeah. And this is crayfish powder. So sipa bu wow and all them yamas bu wow in the sea, the creatures. So it's also seasoning. You can also use it when you're cooking your ebe and other spicy meals. And this is locust beans netetu. This is the dried ones. So I see Nigerians when they cook in the plazas, they cook it like this, in the whole lump. Whereas in Gambia, we grind it into paste or powder form. So obviously in the Gambia, we have Ghanaians and all other ethnics and tribes. So obviously we cook it here for all of them. And so this is the powder for the locust beans.
Okay.
So the one I initially showed, this is its powder.
Powder. Yeah.
And this is dried snail yeast. It's already washed, cleaned, ready to cook. And this is lime juice. And it's preserved with pepper.
I was going to ask. Why do you have it?
Yeah. So it's a knowledge I learned from my mother and my grandma.
Okay.
Because when you squeeze the lime and leave it, normally you will see some white stuff coming up on it. But when you preserve it with spice, you don't see any of that. And this can last for 5 years or so.
Interesting.
Right. And the next is palm oil.
Okay.
Ready to cook, readily sieved, and it's really clean.
Where is it from?
This one is from Bissau.
Bissau. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot coming from Freetown as well.
Freetown,
so,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Freetown.
So which one has a better quality, the Bissau one or the Freetonian one?
So I've also been asked that question, but I'm thinking it's from Conakry. Either Conakry or Bissau.
Yes. Thank you very much for demonstrating these products. It looks amazing, and I'll be happy to. I look forward to trying them out. Actually,
yeah. So these are just the dried. So I couldn't come with the frozen ones.
Okay.
So
no,
yes,
understood. So for people that are interested in learning more, obviously that you have websites, you have social media, so they can follow you. We'll share them in the link below.
Okay.
So they can follow and learn more about what you do.
Yeah.
do you have any questions? Do you have any tips to give to the people that are listening and watching?
So not one of, part of things I'd love to share is believe in mentorship. I used to be very reluctant for mentorship, but at some point, again, growing up, I've learned that I couldn't do it all alone. And so what I've done is I have diverse mentors. I have a mentor who's an artist. I have a mentor who's an accountant, who's into marketing. So I get different views. I get different inspiration, and also be inquisitive. Because when I was young, they used to spank me for Pharaoh. So when one of these days, my mom was saying something. So these are also things I think parents should look out for in kids, and these are things we should nurture instead of frowning at them.
Right.
Because when I look back at my life, I realize if I had my way with certain things and guided Pearly the right way, it would have been different. Because I find myself doing what I'm doing today, but my passion has always been investigative journalism. I say it everywhere. That has been my passion since day one. But but that's the passion. But I think this is my calling,
right?
And it has enabled me to, open up to so many ideas, and I'm so excited that I can and I will do so many great things with the RozAfriq brand. I think another thing why entrepreneurs are struggling is because the trainings that have been brought to the country is not the right training.
Okay.
Like I said, I am now doing training on intellectual property. That should have been part of the first trainings. I know what intellectual property is in my business, how to use it. Me, I've been just telling people, especially the RozAfriq, Ninga Ko Glue, trade secret is just going, like all of those, a lot of entrepreneurs don't know. So when this training comes, I feel it comes with a notion. We want to train them on packaging. So they just get a group of people, train them on packaging. And most entrepreneurs will tell you, they go there for the money, the transport refund.
Right.
And then there are other opportunities for grant. Those will come to give it to people who don't even know what to do with it. So the ecosystem is I frown against it. So I'm a genuine advocate for entrepreneurship in this country.
What do you feel government can do to support entrepreneurs?
Government, I don't think I even know what they can do. Because just yesterday I saw a post on What's on Gambia that has to do with the rice that some jar guy is farming. Yeah. And then and then there was a quote that says young Gambians should go into rice farming. 1 hectare can give you. That. And then I replied, I was like, we want to do it, but we don't know people who know people who know people who can help us achieve it.
Right.
If I could walk straight to the trade minister and, sit him down and tell him what I really want to do. And it's not like we don't know what we're doing. At least for some of us, we do. We have a sense of direction. We have a purpose. We know exactly what we're doing. So I feel it's just lost priorities and misplaced priorities sometimes. Because I'll have to say this, if I was related to probably the permanent secretary for Ministry of Trade, I'm thinking I would be in a better place today. Right? But because I don't know someone who knows someone so it's not happening. So things like this, I honestly really frown against, because there are really entrepreneurs out there who have the skills, the knowledge, the know-how, but they just need the right linkages. And I say again, I heard Yusundur opened a factory that's doing packaging in Jamnyajo, I guess.
Okay.
So if that is ongoing, or if that is, because they did the inauguration. What is stopping government from partnering with Senegal that is just here? Most of the packaging materials in Gambia for entrepreneurs is coming from China. You have to pay people from China to get it to you. You have to pay extra fees to collect it from the airport. And then now you have to package your product in that. How much would you sell it? So, and then they tell us it's inflation that is. So it's really hard. It's really not easy. And one thing I also don't like in the ecosystem, for especially those in the food sector, most of us have the same packaging material. The only way you can distinguish is probably our branding.
Right.
So that's why when I was working on mine, I specifically looked for something that was really different. Even though it's not what I want, I'd want to go into biodegradable ones, but at least for now, this is what I can grab.
Interesting. What other challenges do you foresee? You know, we've talked about what you're going through now, but if these are not in place, let's say in the foreseeable future, what do you think can then, can be done to make things easier for the entrepreneurs or for people in your sector?
For what I think is we have different organizations that are here for this.
Right.
I think their strategy should be a bit different, not just taking the funding because it's here. Is it here for the right purpose? Is it solving the right needs? Like I hear them keep saying we've trained over 115,000 young people, right? How many of those young people are exporting outside Gambia? How many of them have employed more than 25 people? Since I started, I've employed at least 5. I want to get to the point where I can employ 100 and have them work morning shift, afternoon shift, night shift. That is where I want to get to. And I know I can get there. But
just with the help of the 3 million that you're seeking for,
it would
make a big difference.
Yeah, it would take me to the next step, most definitely, because my target is to get regionally and globally.
Amazing. It's been amazing speaking to you.
Thank
and
you.
I really
Likewise.
enjoyed this session. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you for watching and listening. It's the Saul FRAZER's podcast, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.